At the end of my freshman year in college, I wanted to be an English teacher. My advisor advised me, you should work at a camp, get to know the kids you want to teach. So I said, you sure? It seems pretty different. She goes, nope, I did it. I did it for like 20 years. Found out later that she never got married and she loved working at camp. It's a coincidence, but I took her advice and I went back home to Minnesota at the time. My sister, lo and behold, had found me a job at a camp. I can't name it because I don't want to get sued by them. But I went in for an interview. I had a tattered on flannel, jeans, and some old boots. I walked in there and said, I hear you have a job. And they go, yes, do you know how to rock climb? Do you know anything about high ropes? And I go, oh yeah, I know everything about it. I work at the rock pool at my college, and I went on all these trips, and I do this and that. And he goes, you're hired. You're starting in a week. I said, okay. This is my first time going to camp, guys, at 20 years old. I show up about a week before all the kids start coming. I meet everybody. All of them have been going to that camp for about 20 years. And I'm the new kid on the block. And I'm responsible for all these kids' lives. I have to make sure they're safe because they're going up on this rock wall that's about 25, 30 feet tall, and if they fall, they can hurt themselves on these high ropes course. And I'm pretty confident that I can do that. I find out that there's a trip that we can take that I'll drive out to this rock face, this crag, along the river. And these kids will come canoeing down the river. They'll dock the canoes, they'll come up, and then we'll do rock climbing for the day. The benefit to me is that after they leave, I have the rest of the day to myself. And so once a week, I went to this rock wall, and I would rock climb after they had left. And it was going very well for a while, and I got very comfortable with it, and then I got cocky. In climbing, there's a term called free soloing. For any of you who have not heard of Alex Honnold, he's the one that climbs without a rope, without a harness, without any protective stuff. Well, that's what I did that particular day. I was rock climbing up something called piece of cake. And it was a piece of cake at the beginning. I was confident. I put on my shoes. I felt good. I felt strong. I had a chalk bag to keep my hands dry. I took my Crocs here, stuffed them in the back, held them tight, and that's all I needed. So I could climb to the top, climb over, and then hike down, and then have a nice relaxing day at the rock wall. And as I climbed up, I was about 30, 40 to 50 feet, and I was at the very top. Well, this very top was never meant to be climbed to the very top. It was only meant to be climbed part of the way to the top. So as I'm up there, I realize that there's nothing else to grab onto. I'm stuck. I slap around, can't feel anything, there's nothing else to put my feet up on. And I'm just there, and I look down, and all of a sudden this height starts getting to my head. And I'm just going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, I'm gonna die. I look back down, and there's people gathering at the bottom. They're watching a professional rock climber rock climb. And I'm up there on the precipice of life and death. I move around one side, scoot back the other, slapping the entire time, and I can't find anything. My legs start to shake, and my hands, keep in mind, are only slapped onto the rock's grit. I have nothing to hold on to. If I slip, I'm dead. But eventually I realized I can't go down. I can only go up, and if I fall, well, at least I'm not going to be walking away from it. So I move over to the one side. I slap up, I'm hunched over on this rock, and move my feet up, smearing them against the grit of the stone. And I slip. No, I'm just kidding. And I slip. But I was there. But I am shaking, and I'm terrified, and in my head I'm just thinking, stay calm. Just one more inch. And I reach up, and there's dirt. And I dig my hands deep in there, and I find a root, and I pull myself, and I just beach myself like a whale. And I get up there, and my whole body's shaking. My heart's pounding. I can't control my breath. I'm breathing so. And then I was up there for about an hour trying to calm myself, realizing that I almost died from my own stupidity. I eventually was able to collect myself. I put on my Crocs, I took down my climbing shoes, I walked down, Guy was coming back up. He's like, hey, man, I saw you climb up there. That looked pretty good. I look at him and go, yeah, it's a piece of cake. And then I went back to camp, never to climb that one again. Thank you.